I hope that by making this video, I can make it clear to you guys who I am, but also to clear up the narrative of so-called online radicalization. I have not been radicalized by the internet. I have been radicalized by the society that those that I that those that I supposedly attack created, and my life proves it. I was born in 2007. Both of my parents are millennials. I will obviously not disclose their identity, neither will I disclose my exact date of birth, for obvious reasons. This being said, some time after having me, they fell into serious drug problems. So, that already, and they did because, around that time, I imagine it must not have been easy, but at the same time, because they were raised in a generation that promoted this MTV, for example, with the rap that they put on there, right? Drug, crime, etc. That's all that it promoted. You know? So, this being said, I lived a normal childhood being raised by my grandma. Very decent childhood, you know? Then, I actually hit teenage years the same time these lockdown happened, right? Because of the COVID, right? Well, I wouldn't deny that the COVID existed, but I would deny that it was a pandemic. Now, and let me explain you why. As I said, I have proof by my own life, by my own experience. I do not need sources. I have lived it firsthand. So, anyways, I grow up in this, right? I live my teenage years, my first teenage years in this. So, then I go to school, right? We're all masked up. We are all masked up and we are all, lined up like little soldiers, right? Every time we want to enter the school, right, we all have to disinfect our hands, everything. We cannot remove our masks. I probably ingested, I don't know how many fucking microplastic while there, but anyways. So, during the same time, September, which is the beginning of the school year in Quebec and Canada as a whole, I get falsely accused of rape by a girl. The worst thing is not even that. It's the fact that she had no proof and the court still believed her, even if she had no proof that I had done such a thing. But the worst is even yet to come. So I get falsely accused of rape. I try to play the card of conceding, right? Inside I am boiling with rage. I concede and I say, I'm sorry, right? To something I didn't even do, right? Because I was playing their game. So, ultimately then, the school year goes on, right? And then I find more and more interesting ideology, and then I get into, I realize that this didn't happen to me for no reason, right? I realized that, that the society we were living in wasn't very the society that we were promised. So this was my first realization. Then I realized much more things from that. So this was really eye opener for me. And then, so after that, the school year ends. Then the COVID jabs. You know, we are starting to get obligated to get these COVID jabs, these COVID mandates, right? You know, I'll try to put it at the end of the video if I have time. If not, I'll make a separate post about it, showing you guys exactly. I was forced to take 3 jabs. So then I go to school. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, I'm depressed. I cannot follow, right, what they're saying. Also, all these absurd medical concepts. I cannot follow. It's already absurd. Imagine following absurdity while you're... But that's another discussion. So anyways, I just cannot follow. So under the law in Quebec, if you cannot follow, you know, quick story short, right, I mean, since I could not follow, they technically kicked me out of school, but that's simplifying a lot of things. They kicked me out of school. They sent me loads and loads of schoolwork. I crashed out. Okay, I completely crashed out. I obviously didn't do any, you know, like bad stuff, but I crashed out, you know. I was just mentally not there anymore. So they sent me to what we call, you know, under heavy medication that I was practically forced to take. Oh, and of course, you know, actually, you know, but like they sent me there with heavily medicated. I contested the fact that they sent me there. The lawyer who was supposed to defend me did not even defend me. She refused to defend me. I will not name her, obviously, but if you are listening to this, I remember you. But yeah, so she refused to defend me, and I have proof of this. But obviously, I will not disclose her identity. If she tries to sue me or something, I will. But so yeah, and I will disclose exactly what she did. But anyway, alright, so this makes sense. So yeah, so she refused to defend me. This all was when I was 12, 13, by the way. All of this in the same time span. Like 2021. So then I spent 6 months in this youth center, Saint Jeunesse. Then I go out, obviously destabilized, not knowing where to go in life. So that's when I started getting interested in faith much more than I ever was before, by the way, because I mean, I practically lost hope and, you know, and yeah, like the things that I thought that were important until then. So that's when I realized the true importance of faith and metaphysics. So yes, and I went through multiple faiths, multiple religion, until I came back to my Catholic identity, obviously, which I always grew up with, amen. But that I never realized the importance of. So yeah, so then I continue school, you know. Even to this day, I'm still finishing because, of course, all of these absurd mathematical concepts blocking me. But it's simply to say, this is what radicalized me. Not some online forum, not some, I don't know, blog. It was the leftist. And if you're an Antifa and you're watching this, know that it was you and no one else. You only have yourself to blame for the society that you have built.